Chapter 5 and 6. Winston had earlier predicted that Syme will be vaporized because he is very intelligent and he does not care much about what he says. The city is alive of London because of the preparations for the heat week, and the pros become very rowdy because of the heat. The parsons hang streamers and banners everywhere with their children singing the hit song day and night. Winston's obsession for the room increases day by day and thinks about it even if he cannot go there. He wishes that Catherine dies to give him the opportunity to marry Julia. Funny enough, he even thinks of altering his identity to become a pro or disguise and live in a secret life in the back streets of London. Both talk about the brotherhood which they doubt if it exists, or it is the party's creation or invention to instill fear and loyalty to the party. He also tells her about his strange attachment to O'Brien and that the party has invented the wars and the imaginary enemy of Emmanuel Goldstein in order to use it as an opportunity to vaporize those who are unwanted in the party. Winston is put off by their thoughtless lack of concern and rebukes her for being a rebel only from the waist down. In chapter 6, O'Brien comes in contact with Winston. O'Brien comes in contact with Winston, who has waited for this moment all his life to get involved in a rebellion against Big Brother. During this brief conversation at the hallway of the Ministry of Truth, O'Brien alludes to Syme. He also tells him that he can come and get the latest dictionary of Newspeak from his flat. Winston feels that his moment with O'Brien should last and continue because it is the path in which his life that he had begun on the day of his first rebellious thought. He also concludes that this path or meeting with O'Brien will be able to carry him to that point where he thinks that his rebellion will be complete. We understand that he has great admiration for O'Brien. He concludes that this path or meeting with O'Brien will lead him to the Ministry of Love, where he expects to see O'Brien address, which is captured by the large telescreen in the hallway. These two even dream of engaging in full-scale rebellion against the party. Winston constantly reminds Julia that history is constantly obliterated and altered, but Julia does not see the significance of that fact in their relationship. She is not interested in the past or the next generation of people. She is only interested in their relationship with Winston. Greed and selfishness. O'Brien compliments Winston on his article on the Times. Chapter 5 serves as a transition in time and as a way to fill the reader with details of what Orwell has skipped. It highlights the difference between Winston and Julia. Although he has an ally in Julia, he is still alone in his thoughts. It also introduces the fact that Syme has been vaporized as predicted by Winston. The vaporization enables O'Brien to reference him in the text in the next chapter and thus key Winston into O'Brien's possible orthodoxy to the party. Syme's disappearance also serves as the basis to establish a new relationship between Winston and O'Brien. Also note that the meeting between these two had been foreshadowed in chapter 1, when Winston had related to the eye contact made between him and O'Brien. Winston interprets O'Brien's offer of the dictionary as a ruse because he truly believes that his assumption of O'Brien's faithfulness to the party is correct. He is determined to follow O'Brien's summon to his house, not knowing what lies in front of him. This decision marks the turning point or climax in the story. All the events so far had merely led to this encounter. The firm decision marks the greatest personal development Although he could have looked the other way from destruction, he chooses to embrace it. From this point onwards, faith takes over and Winston is powerless to stop the consequences. Remember that he had been very anxious to meet O'Brien, who had promised that they will meet in the place where there is no darkness. And to Winston, the place without darkness can only be a place where freedom abounds. And there is nothing that Winston cherishes at this moment in his life than to have freedom.